All right, hello everybody. Tatas, welcome on in. Good to see you. Everybody, a nice warm welcome to Tatas. It's their first time here. Tatas, Tates, whatever the case may be, welcome on in. It's good to have you. With the glasses. Oh, what are we doing this stream? Well, Lancer, I'm so excited to tell you. It is, in fact, me, the man in my late 20s with glasses who would do speedruns of Guardians Crusade for the PlayStation 1, specifically the slide route. If you want. Honestly, it's the same way with my name. People look at it and they give it their best shot, and that's all I can ask. Good to have you, though. Welcome on in. Excited to have you. Lancer, it's gonna be okay. Remember your training. Saw the new SpongeBob movie? How was it? Give me a brutal, detailed breakdown. In the meantime, I'll talk about what tonight's stream is going to look like. I have not touched this game a single time since the last time I streamed. Last time I streamed it. So the last time I did speedrun attempts of this game back in what, October? Maybe early November? That's the last time I've even opened this emulator for the purpose of going to Guardians Crusade. So I have no idea how much of this run I'm even going to remember. So tonight is going to be essentially a casually paced playthrough of the slide percent speedrun route. And we'll see how it goes. We're just kind of vibing through it. We'll use save states as necessary so that I'm not having to, you know, start over completely and what's not says. But it's gonna be great. It's gonna be super fun. It's gonna be a great time. I'm looking forward to it. Decently funny. The actual story wasn't much to write home about. It's kind of what I expected. Got a few good laughs out of you. Nice. That's kind of about what I expected from the SpongeBob movie. The decently funny without a super, like, over the top story. Never heard of this game. It's super cool. Since you never heard of this game, neither has most of anybody else. This is not a very well-known game. It is a simple to pick up RPG from Tamsoft and Activision from like 2000 or 2001, something like that. Maybe 1999. I don't know. I stopped paying attention and thinking about numbers. But it's really good. It's got a great soundtrack. It's a really fun game. You are enlisted by Rabbit Jesus to take the strange bunny monster dragon baby back to its home at God's Tower. And then when that kind of goes to shit, you then need to defeat a primordial evil, an actual god of chaos ready to destroy the world. And you do that through friendship and toys that are alive. And that's it. That's the game. We figured it out. We did it. Also, there's a cult. That also happens. Thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate you. What did you come into? This. Which Final Fantasy are we talking about? Guardians Crusade. Made by Tamsoft and Activision. And then just imagine for the bit that I completely redo word for word the entire explanation that I just gave, but I don't have enough short-term memory for that, so. Yeah, it's kind of a Final Fantasy light. I would agree to that. It's good. It's fun. I like it. The dialogue is quirky. There's a lot of silly jokes. The entirety of the OST is 10 out of 10. It's good. It's great. Hell yeah, Lancer. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. I'm glad that it wasn't a negative experience for you. A pound of French toast frying in an air fryer and a glaze of cinnamon sugar ready? Did you bring enough to share with the class, Richter? Because that's my one rule. Oh, fantastic. All right, let me see if I remember how to do this. God, I'm so nervous. I haven't touched this. I meant to play this game a little bit in my spare time today, and then didn't. So, we just start up a new game as expected, and we are going to do do a part of the very first quest of the game, where the whole thing is monsters are starting to show up, right? At this point of the... Oh, wait, what? Oh, no, my analog stick. Why is that not working? Hold on. Oh. Why are buttons wrong? Oh, because I have to do the... Oh, that's not what I want. All right. That's what I need. It needs my settings. We're off to a great start. So basically crops aren't good. And that's concerning the worry ward of a mayor that we have. And so he has a letter written up and he wants us to deliver it to the mayor of the next town over. Because we are the only ones equipped to deal with the monsters. I don't want the camera that angle. I want the camera this angle. And so we're going to do that. On our way over, we're also going to stop by this little farmhouse and grab, what's it called? A cute toy. This cute toy is Nurse. So this game is full of living toys. Living toys are kind of your magic / skills / summon system. So the way that it works is toys are either one-time use, stay on the battlefield and fight, or just pop out, have an effect, and disappear, like a consumable, but not actually consumable. Use psychic points to bring the living toys to life, and then they do cool shit in battle. The one that we just picked up is called Nurse. Nurse heals for 30% of your maximum HP, which is pretty cool. It is also going to be the primary source of healing that we have for whenever we do not have consumables to use. Speaking of consumables, there's a mushroom hanging out on that clothesline, and we're going to grab that as well as this delicious candy bar. The toadstool is used to paralyze an enemy that we're going to encounter later, and then the candy bar can heal 30 HP if I use it. Usually I don't need it, but sometimes I do, and so it helps to have it. I'm trying to not encounter anything because we're going to be doing something called signpost glitch. I don't know. This is the foundational trick of the run. This is what makes Guardians Crusade speedrunning cool. But basically, I have the little fairy friend. Her name is Nahani. Everyone say hi, Nahani. Nahani is here to help us out in the very similar sense to Navi or Tattle from the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask Zelda games. And you can hit the square button to talk to her, and she'll tell you whatever the fuck's going on. To kind of remind you of what it is you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes it's helpful, usually it's not. What makes it incredibly helpful for our purpose is I can talk to Nahani and read a sign at the same time because I'm really good at multitasking. The problem is that the entire rest of the world is not good at multitasking. So using Nahani and the text box from the sign at the exact same time creates this weird glitched state where it doesn't fully clear out both text boxes. So I'm able to move around. I'm moving fast as fuck, boy, because the game's not having to load everything else that it normally has to load, and it's super great. So this glitched state has a lot of things to be careful of. Pausing the game can either clear the glitch or crash the game. Can do a whole bunch of other exciting nonsense. What I'm going to do is I'm going to now talk to Nahani, which clears out most of it, but not quite. So the game's still operating super quickly, but now I can encounter an enemy. Encountering an enemy clears up most of the weird nonsense with the glitch, but still lets me stay sped up. But it lets the game run like 60% faster than it normally would, which is just really important. What I'm doing right now is I need to grind up levels to get up to level 2. So whatever enemies I encounter, I fight them, and I get level 2. And then herein lies the annoying problem with this game, or running this game, is RNG. The enemies you encounter are of course random, right? But the experience that they give, the amount of money that they give, are also random. So the amount of fights it takes to get level 2 here can be anywhere between 1 fight, if you're incredibly lucky, like maximum experience can level you up, or 5 fights if God hates you. Unfortunately, God hates me a lot, so you'll see me do like a lot of 3 or 4 fights, and I have actually gotten a 5 fight before, and it made me really big sad. I think this is going to be a 3 fight, though. I think this will give me the level up. It does. So now let's kind of recap on stats, as much for my benefit as it will be for yours, the viewer. Your level is your level. If you've ever played an RPG before, congratulations, you're doing a good job. You got a good foundation. Maximum hit points is how many times I can get hit. And then maximum PP is psychic points. That's what we use to summon the living toys that we'll gain access to later. And then we have the most important numbers on the screen: strength, power, and agility. Strength determines all of your physical damage. That's it. Okay. Strength is important to a degree. It's nice to be able to do damage when you hit things, but most of our damage comes from the living toys. The living toys damage scales based on our level. So we're more so looking for that. Power is the most important number on this screen, way beyond all others. Power determines your defense as well as your maximum HP. Now, this is probably the biggest RNG kick in the behind. When it comes to these stats, you get a +1 in every stat, and then there's 3 additional points that get accrued, that get applied randomly to strength, power, or agility. Okay. As you can see, This is a really unlucky level. I got 2 points in strength and 1 extra point in agility. Agility is your speed, but it only determines who goes first in combat. After that, it's just regular turn-based combat. So agility can become clutch in certain situations, but in most times, it's fine. We don't really care about it. Your agility will probably be all right, regardless of what it ends up being. Power is the only stat that we really care about, because we need to be able to take a hit. The other big kicker about it is you not only want high power, you want high power early. These stats that are affected by strength and power are affected in that way, in a scaling way. So if I have a bunch of really bad level ups in power, that not only affects the maximum HP on those levels, but it permanently stunts my growth for all future levels, because the current max HP and defense that I have is now a smaller number, which is growing slower, if that makes sense. Right? So you need to have good early power. If you have shitty early power and then it goes really good later, it's too late. You're not going to be getting the numbers you need to see. And then you might just be dead because your level up sucked. So, yeehaw. And then experience and next level, that just says how much current experience do I have? And then that number exists forever and continues to count up. It never goes away. And then what is the new total I need to reach in order to level up, which for me is 18 at my current and 33 to level up. Lancer, you were talking about Vesperia? That's the one. Vesperia. That's what I saw in the chat. But it was Tales of Xillia. Huh. Pretty good. Not super far, but you're having a great time. 4 party members and a smart-ass marketable mascot. That's how RPGs go. Oh, nice. You have Alvin the Chipmunk. Of course. The best character in Tales of Xillia. And then there's Tipo. Tipo sounds like the mascot character. I hope the story goes somewhere soon. Story, I think, is one of the most important things about an RPG. If you can't write a good story, you don't have a good RPG. So now that I've achieved level 2, we can now go into Sanclaria. Sanclaria is a fun, quirky little port town. I'm going to grab one of the most important toys of the game from here. This is the wind-up toy. This is Pyro. Pyro is cool because he deals fire damage based on my current level. It is going to be the primary way that I deal damage for most of the game. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to deliver that letter. Remember the letter we got from the mayor? We're going to take it to this one that talks about how the crops have been bad and monsters are appearing and it's super scary. This mayor is going to say, we have a few bad vegetables. It's fine. No one cares. Go home. And so normally I would go home. However, I don't feel like it. I'm instead going to tear through reality by doing Nahani plus the sign again. That's going to reset my glitched state. And then we're going to run all the way up here to the Cave of Fear. The Cave of Fear, or I'm sorry, the Cave of Fear is normally somewhere we would go after completing the current quest line that we're on, which is going back to the mayor to deliver the message of the other mayor. And then plot bullshit happens and we end up here eventually. However, I am going to read this sign quickly. And with the stored glitched state, it's going to give me another wind-up toy, Why Me. Why Me, which is literally just why me, is a punching bag. He's just a punchable little guy who could take 10 hits. Doesn't matter how much damage it is, big or small, it is 10 hits, and then he's gone. Enemies are pretty much guaranteed to hit him unless it's an area of effect attack, which would hit everyone. And I am some percentage chance likely to hit Wymie instead of my intended target. So there's another fun bit of RNG, but this is really the only reason that we're able to survive the vast majority of encounters and bosses that we fight in this game. Cool. I have Wymie now. You might not believe me, but I promise he's there. And now I'm inside the cave. I used Nahani a couple times to kind of skip me through the cutscenes and text boxes saying that, oh, I don't want to go in here, which lets me go in here. And now we're gonna fight stuff and move through the area. So that's Wymie. He's the punchable little guy. He's the only reason I can survive here. Hopefully I can hit enemies enough times so that I can kill them before Wymie dies. I have to run from this encounter. Oh man. That's not good. That is in fact remarkably bad. So the reason that that is remarkably bad is I spent 4 PP to put him out there and most of my HP to realize that I'm gonna die anyways. I need better RNG on this, or I will just lose the game. And it's not looking good. Wait, never mind. We're having a comeback. We've done it. So now let's actually take a look at the stats on this level up. So now we're level 3. We need to be level 7. Yes, 7 when leaving this cave. And we need power. However, I am getting agility. That's a bummer. But it's fine. We still have 4 more levels to get going through here to get more power. It's fine. Psychic points are nice. We move on. Normally, I would just be mashing through it, like too fast for me to read, and I would just be seeing my stats as I continue to level up. I do want to get 1 more level before I finish in this cave. So from that chest, we got Cool Toy and a bronze shield. The Cool Toy is actually Pyro, not the other one. The Wind Up Toy. I don't remember. I don't remember. I have no idea. The wind-up toy is important. I just don't remember which one it is. The one that we grabbed in Sanclaria. The cool toy is Pyro. What is wind-up toy? I don't know. Maybe someone from the Discord will come by and tell me. Here's Wymie. Okay, no level up on this one. I have 4 psychic points, which is enough to get another level. But we have cleared through that area, and now it's time to fight the first boss, which may or may not result in me just dying. I may not have enough agility to outspeed, and I may not have enough HP and defense to survive the first turn. As long as I can survive the first attack, then I win and we're fine. I'm just gonna mash through this text as quick as I can. Turning my camera. So cutscenes in this game have a have a predestined, like, this is the camera angle that you're gonna have for this cutscene. And if you don't have it put to that angle, the game like waits and then oh yeah, no, I'm dead. The game waits and then sets you to that camera angle. Okay, so this is post Mushmere. Let me back up to the start of the cave. There we go. I have to remember my hotkeys. And I'm back in. Alvin's like the cool guy mercenary character, but he's also the chivalrous pervert. I hate the chivalrous pervert. I hate that archetype. I'm so over that archetype. Oh, I see you've anticipated my emotions. I'm so over it. It's not necessary. It's not necessary to have an obstinate pervert in every, like, party or group. Bothers the crap out of me. Alright, let's see if we can get better RNG on this fight. So I don't have to run from it. Okay. Good. No level up on that fight, though. So that means my experience was absolutely trash, so that's cool and neat. You'll hate Rimsteria, then? I will... how many characters have that archetype? Oh, no. Lancer. Lancer, oh, no. Alright, I do need a level here, otherwise I will just die. Because I'll get one shot by the boss. Oh my god. Oh my god. I might just die anyways. Let's see where our level up is. So we got 3 points in power. So that's huge. That's a really good first level up. Alright, we're to fight this. Hopefully I get a level up here. I did. Oh boy. So with this level up, I got 2 more points in power. So this is a much better start. Cool. So we will definitely have the stats that we need to get through Mushmere. Not a problem. Alright, I didn't get the camera all the way. So there's an example of the camera having to reset before the cutscene can actually start. So it's a pretty minor time save, but it's free, so you might as well. I'm gonna start with the toadstool. I get a turn. I get 2 turns. Thanks for the waste of time. I set out Wymie. The reason I don't set out Wymie before attacking is because it wastes paralyzed turns, and I might just attack Wymie. Twice. Incredible. All right, one more attack should do it. Okay. I shouldn't get a level up here? No, okay. Because I got a level up right before, and I think I cut that experience requirement pretty tight. Excuse me. So now we're going to be introduced to living toys. So this is Mr. O'Neill. He kind of explains the deal and how it all works. And now we have access to use living toys in battle. There is one more thing we're gonna grab before we leave. From the room we fought the boss in is Da Bomb. Da Bomb is another critical living toy. It is where we're gonna have a big burst of damage at the start of pretty much every fight in this game. The way that Da Bomb works is he explodes after 3 turns of being on the field, dealing massive damage to everyone, including yourself. You are able to defend to block yourself from the damage. Right now I am level 4, so I need to keep that in mind. I only have 1 psychic point, which is a bummer. Should survive this. Poison, incredible. We're gonna do Why Me, and then I can candy bar to stay alive. And then I'm gonna equip the new shit I got, Bronze Shield from the chest and the Iron Sword from Mushmere. Taking more damage from poison, but it's a non-issue. Okay, we also got 4 more points in power. Insane. That is an ideal level up. We do need... two more levels. We'll put out Why Me just to be safe. It is just a single Baraphant, but these guys can deal like 16 damage, and if they crit, it's like 20 something, and I don't want to deal with that nonsense. Yeah, I'm so over that archetype. I hate seeing it all over the place. Let me take a quick peek. So we have Mr. O'Neill, Nurse, Pyro, Viper. I guess it's Viper that we get from the... I don't know. Correct. Yes, Lancer, 100%. And that's honestly more of what I'm referring to when I talk about how much I hate that archetype. It's just, it's so annoying. And also, like, plenty of anime that are supposed to have I skip past the level up. The chivalrous pervert, skip the chivalrous part as well. So it's just pervert. And they add nothing to the show. I can't stand it. So because of all the power levels I got, I have a lot of HP and I'm taking hits a lot easier. I think it's 1 more fight and I should have my level. The double Baraphant fights are usually really good on experience. All right, let's see what we got. Level 7. Only getting 1 power this time, but honestly, getting out of here at 70 HP is really good. Even if my last couple level ups might not have had good power, getting really good power from those early levels already are starting to have a payoff. So now let's try to get out of here without any more fights. Nope. Cool. They were stuck to each other, so I was able to slip through. And even that little delay is faster than going through the fight, so... Yeehaw. Okay, dodge the encounters. Huge. They're not worth it. You do not need the experience from them, and where we're going to be going is going to give us way more experience than they could ever hope to give us. We used to grind there until like level 16, and it was like a 20-something minute grind. Now we don't have to, because everything's better. And that is the dragon thing, the baby bunny monster. Because of the glitched state we're in, it does skip the cutscene. And now the mayor wants us to take the baby to the Cave of Fear. And you know what? We're gonna do just that. But then I'm gonna utilize the fact that this baby exists to absolutely rend physical connections to the world. Hopefully. So the category that I run is called Slide Percent. Slide Percent is named that specifically because of this trick. This is the slide. And I'm going to set up a save state. We'll do it on 9.99 for tonight, I think. Yeah, we'll do 9.99. Where's the save button? Save. Cool. So we're saved. I need to now mash, not completely mash, but just kind of pretty much mash. I need to press quickly, but not full speed mash to skip through this cutscene. The reason that it has to be a not all the way mashing is because I need to mash through the text box of this cutscene faster than they're supposed to, without mashing all of the text boxes. I need to leave the last one open. And there are certain moments in this cutscene that interrupt your ability to progress text. So if you're full mashing, you can make it to where you're not actually getting through the text boxes as quickly as you need to, or you'll just skip past all of them and then you'll exit the cutscene and then you're stuck. This is a succeed or suck trick. Either you get it or you have to go back to your last save point, which is thankfully right after getting the baby back to town. And then walking through all this nonsense, it does waste time, but hopefully I can just get it first try and I don't have to worry about it. And then I have to hope that I remember how to do slide. So that is a failed attempt. That is a failed attempt. I pushed too many times, and I am now out of the cutscene with no way to progress. Whoops, pushed the wrong button. Nope. 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 I expected this. Hmm? No. Yes? Yes. I was supposed to hold that direction. We are back here. I got the trick, but then I forgot which directions to hold. Load. Okay. How's it going, Rapier? Oh, so since you're here, I wanted to wait until you got to whoa, before you got back to stream, to bring this up. So, for Christmas, my wife was incredibly generous and kind and loving and caring. She got me a Switch 2 for Christmas, which is not something that I ever expected to get, ever. I didn't think I'd have a Switch 2 for like a year or two later. But it's super great and it's super fun. Mario Kart World is a great experience for having a good time. I also got the Switch Online expansion pack, and we've all been having a really good time, having more accessible options into Game Boy Advance and Nintendo 64, and also a few GameCube titles. The reason I wanted to wait for you to get here to bring this up is because one of the Game Boy Advance titles on the Switch Online service is Minish Cap. Switch 2 is currently the fastest method to speedrun the game. I do intend on getting back to Minish Cap at some point, and that will now be done through the Switch 2 Online instead of through emulator. Not anytime soon. We were doing a randomizer to take a break from GSR, to take a break from ZA, to take a break from this, take a break from MC. Yeah, we're not worried about it. We're not looking at the past. We're only looking at the future. What changes can we expect from that? Funnily enough, pretty minimal. All of the tricks still work the exact same. The major difference between the two is soft resetting takes almost no time. Soft resetting on Game Boy Advance has like a second or two, like a couple seconds of pause, but the Switch 2 and Wii U don't. So most people ran on Wii U. I did not run on Wii U because getting a Game Boy Advance title on the Wii U was kind of a nightmare. It was really rough and awkward and a lot of things I had to do. But Nintendo Switch Online is just the way that it is. I set up a Japanese account, added it to my family account, and then downloaded the Japanese Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch Online application, and now I can play the Japanese games. There isn't a whole lot of none of the tricks are different between like the North American and Japanese versions. It's just text speed difference, and that is a massive difference with all of the cutscenes and nonsense. Anyway, let's try slide again. First try. This game's easy. Okay, now I pay attention for the island in the bottom right corner. And then I hold and pray, basically. So I am sliding through the world right now to Triskin, and I'm going to take a little bit of time to explain this as soon as... Cool. So welcome to Triskin. Breaks fingers. So the way that slide works, the nonsense you just witnessed on screen, and I'm going to save the state. The way slide works, to my understanding, when you enter a cutscene, the cutscene tells you which coordinates you need to stand on. Now, Guardians Crusade is pretty unique for the time period and for a lot of RPGs where the entire open world is all one map. So the cities and towns and the areas in between are all the same map. Contrasting to like Final Fantasy VII, where you have the open world that you navigate on, and then you walk to the little cave icon on the map, and then you are now in that new location, right? Or the little town picture, whatever, right? So, using that information, what I'm doing is I'm confusing the game on which coordinates it's supposed to send me to, and I'm sliding through the cutscene using the glitched state to continuously move myself out of the grid it's reading the coordinates from into a new grid where it finds that coordinate, and then I slide right past it into the next grid, and so on, using that to slide my happy ass into Triskin. Triskin, not the cracker, the town. This is a really finicky glitch because the direction that you are sliding in, you can think of it like a really bad headwind, is different based on which chunk of map you're entering. So you have to be really careful about where you're going. You might just end up at the coordinates and not be able to move. You might get stuck somewhere else. You might be getting pulled in a different direction. And then there's things you can't move through. You have to change camera angles or change which directions you're holding on the D-pad. It's a whole thing. So Slide is really finicky. It's really cool and really powerful, but it's also really weird. But that's a super, as basic as I can think of in the moment, breakdown of how Slide works. But now we're in Triskin. This is a mid-game town, has a ton of great equipment, good mid-level enemies that we can get a lot of money and a lot of experience off of. But real quick, Lancer dropped a book and I have to read it. Each character has a mechanic exclusive to them. You can cast spells with charge time like normal tail spellcasters, or you can choose to cast weaker instant spells using combos. That's super fun and cool. I love that. Drew has the ability to nothing personnel kid when he dodges an enemy attack. That's super cool. It's evade and counter. We love that. One of my favorite things in Final Fantasy X. Alvin, the chipmunk, can store charges in his cheeks, in his little chipmunk cheeks, to improve his techniques or feed himself through the winter. And Elise has a stance system where she can swap between physical or magical boost with the taunt button. That is pretty cool. I like that a lot. I really like when RPGs have dynamic combat systems. I think it's fun and cool and important. Anyway, now we're in Triskin. We have lost the glitched state, so now the game is operating as normal, and that's kind of preferred. I used to have a method that I developed that lets me keep the glitched state and I can go super fast. However, through something that I do not understand, I have no idea, no one else has any idea. It probably has to do with some little bits of code somewhere in the game that's being messed up by the glitch state. It now crashes every single time. I do the trick the exact same. I don't know what it is. It makes no sense to me. At any rate, once I arrive in Triskin, I play it safe and I save in the inn, because if I die, I don't want the run to just be over. But now I save. Now I'm saved in Triskin and everything's great and cool and wonderful. So now I need to get glitched state again at the nearest available signpost, which is not far. And then pretend like I want to join the city guard like 5 times to get the levels that I need, where I will very quickly go from level 7 to level 13. Last time you played, you were stuck in a dungeon called the Jungle of Infinite Bonus, because there are so many side paths and I kept ending up bonus paths at a progression, got good and just found your way out and absolutely smoked the boss. Hell yeah, dude. So a fun note, walking in a cardinal direction, so due south, east, west, north, that whole deal, reduces spawns by a ton. Basically makes it to where they can't be spawned, but sometimes it happens anyways. And so when I'm moving out on the field, I'm not making a direct beeline for anything. I am making a specific movement to get me there without spawning things. I'm avoiding diagonals as much as possible. Welcome to Toy Soldier. This is the are you man enough to join the military test that Triskin has. You're never able to actually join the city guards because they don't have any positions, or they have positions available, but you're a child and they don't want that, whatever. However, this guy is a fantastic source of experience for a tiny little baby like myself, because he's not too hard to beat, and he only has single target attacks, which is our favorite thing in Guardians Crusade. We use Wymie, so he cannot hit us. I set up Pyro for some residual damage. I set up Da-Bomb and start counting. So that's 1, And then I am going to go ahead and use a hamburger to keep myself healthy. There's 2. And then I can fight on this turn. And then I have to defend to keep myself alive from the bomb that's going to explode. There he is. He hits everybody, but because I was blocking, I'm safe. And you can see that dealt 50 damage as opposed to everything else dealing like mid-teens up to mid-20s. And then we just do this until he dies, and perfect. So now we're gonna get a ton of levels here. Or 2. So I got 2 levels, and I did not get what I wanted at all. I got, well, I got a little bit of power, but also I got a lot of strength, and a good deal of agility, and that makes me sad. So now I'm just gonna mash through and fight him again. Game's kind of piss easy. Not once seen a character go down despite the game being extremely generous with life bottles and being absolutely dog shit Tales games and action RPGs in general. That's a bit of a bummer. Alright, cool. So we just do it again. So we pull on Wymie. Pyro. It's Tank Top Warlock. Thank you so much, my friend.
The missile is very tired. He is eating. The missile has had a very long day of splashing bandits and wants to take just a small sleep. He eating and Neebies to sleeping. Mixel sleeping and need bed by time. The missile is currently experiencing critical levels of being asleep. G little guy and needs to go to bed.
That is one of my favorite copy pastas in existence. Thank you for sharing. And thank you so much for 46 months. That is darn near 4 years of subscribing with Prime Gaming. Thank you so much, my friend. I hope you're having a good night. Hope you're out there living your best life. I'm gonna use one of them. Yikes. All right. Another batch of level ups. We got 2 level ups. We got a good chunk of power. I'll take it. And we fight him again. We're gonna fight him 2 more times. Next fight's gonna get us level 12. The final one's gonna get us level 13. That is exactly what I was going to suggest, Lancer. Look at us being on the same page. All right, we are above 100 HP, which is what we want. Here's Pyro. Here's the bomb. And I have 2 turns of action. I'm going to use the first one to use a peach potion. And then I'm going to attack. Nice. And then I'm going to defend. And then I'm going to ban this person for being a bot. Get out of here. All right, another level up. It's good. That's a lot of power. We love to see it. Found out a new game today. Ooh, tell me about it. All right, so for this one, I'm just gonna do Wymie and Pyro. Saves a little bit of psychic points. Honestly, I'm not used to having a mod in chat, so I've just gotten so used to just doing it. What the fuck? How do you find these, Lancer? How do you do this? All right, we're level 13. Got a couple more points into power. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think that was a video game. All right, so now what we're gonna do, nothing spawning. I don't have to worry about anything spawning at all. We are gonna head down to Zeppeto's house, which, like Geppetto, like the puppet maker. So Zeppeto does not show up in this house until after you have found every single living toy. And then he gives you cool stuff, and then you go home, he gives you another living toy, and then you go to your house, and there's a final living toy sitting inside your home, and it's great. What I want is stare. I also want the experience that this guy gives. This is a mimic. Mimics also only have single target damage. So I'm just going to use Wymie, Pyro, and Da Bomb. You can only have 3 living toys out at a time, so this is kind of the go-to triple threat combo. 1 turn, 2 turn, and now I defend. 114 damage. You'll love to see it. Here's another good level up to 38 power. So this is kind of insane. I would not try to ask for a better run. So now what I do, you could just immediately go back into the nonsense of grinding, because now we're going to be grinding for money and experience. I, however, prefer to go here and save, because this is a huge time investment, and if something goes wrong, I'd rather not lose all of it. But now we're level 15, and that gets us to a good enough level to be able to fight the regular enemies in this area. That was the entire purpose of everything that we've done up to this point. And now I need to grab, I actually forgot. I need to grab my Magic the Gathering at table tool, which I use to track commander damage, which I'm actually using to track money. There are 2 different types of wild encounters that we can have here outside Triskin. There are the green dinos, which give about $1,300 rubies, as they're called in this game. And then there are Bobo dragons. Bobo dragons are a little more dangerous. They give you 2,000. So as I'm going through, I'm going to be counting on this thing. Every time I kill a green dino, I count up 1. Every time I kill a Bobo dragon, I count up 2. And then every like 4 dinos, I give it an extra count because of the round over from the extra 300. But I'm going to go down to my sign and glitch on it. And then talk to Nahani again so I can spawn enemies. And now we're grinding. We do need to play some commander. You're right. Bobo dragons, I cannot fight yet. I technically can, but it's risky. So I'm just going to run away. The first encounter, you really want it to be a green dino. The reason that Bobos are tricky at your current level is because both Da Bomb and Pyro scale with your level. Also, you can't just Wymie the Bobo Dragon. All of the attacks are area of effect. You have a couple decks you want to play test and maybe even build in cardboard? That sounds awesome. I've been kind of poking at a couple of commanders that I've wanted to build around and just haven't. I will at some point. I promise. But for the green dino, it's the same thing you've seen a dozen times already. It's the standard Wymie Pyro Da Bomb. You know very little about Magic. I enjoy playing it. We have 1 on our counter. Tank Top and I play through Untap, which is a free online thing, kind of like Pokemon Showdown, but for card games. It's great. All right, Bobo time. So as I said, Bobo has only area of effect attacks, so my goal is to make Bobo unable to attack as much as possible. Bobo is susceptible to being paralyzed, which lasts 2 turns. So I'm going to start with Viper, do Pyro, Da Bomb, defend, Dr. Snooze, defend for the turn that Da Bomb explodes, and then kill. Is that what I want to do? Hold on, let me think. So Viper comes out, and then I put out Pyro, and then it's Da Bomb, He hits me. I defend the first turn. Yes, defend the first turn while the bomb's out. Dr. Snooze the second turn. Defend on the third turn when the bomb goes off. Okay, cool. We're correct. So we Viper to Bobo. We Pirate a Bobo. We Da-Bomb to Bobo. We Bobo. We then defend a Bobo, because we cannot status him on the turn that he becomes motionable again. He's just immune. So we defend to minimize the damage we're about to take, which is still sizable. We use Dr. Snooze to put him to sleep. And then we defend again. And I'm hoping that he stays asleep. Perfect, so I can use a Peach Potion. And then we kill him for +2 on the counter. And now we're just getting money and experience, and we're going until I get to 27 on my counter. So I'm not paying attention to levels anymore. I'm just hoping that I get to the numbers that I need. Bobo is so good. It's one of those shows I forgot it existed for like 15 years, and then I came across it again. So RNG wise, I never want to see another dino again after the first one I kill. I just want to see nothing but Bobos and grind up to the 27 on my counter as possible. However, you know, that's not something I can really control. But it's okay. Yeah, Bobo was such a silly show, and I really enjoyed it as a kid. I don't know if it was an appropriate show for a kid, because it's been so long since I've seen it. It's also been so long since I've been a kid. But it's good. Oh, also, the terrible music and sounds that you're hearing right now is an audio overlap glitch, because I am too fast. Oh, thanks for the heal. That's actually clutch. He also did his lowest damage attack, which is huge. So I'm staying nice and healthy. I'm hoping that this does not kill, and it does. That's a bummer. I was hoping to have a turn to use an item. It's just the sound of the Bobo farting. Of all things. Obviously, that's what it is. Okay. Well, this is fun. I will... We're almost already at 300 HP. This is kind of huge. I'm going to go for the bomb, and then I'm going to use a Psychic Potion or a Peach Potion. The last one I've got. Use another turn to attack. And then defend. Yay. It's hypothetical time, is it? Alright, we'll count up one more. Bobo. Viper, Pyro. Da Bomb. Defend. Ow. Snooze. Defend. Okay. 1, 2. What would you do if you went to court and they legally declared me Lord of all that is fin and fair are in fact Santa Claus? What would I... So, okay, so basically if I got Tim Allen without actually having a guy die off my roof, I think I would just accept the role. Like, assuming that everything is above board and legitimate, and there's not like a question of legitimacy, like I am now from this moment forward operating as Santa Claus, I would just do it. I was like, okay. Because if I don't, then now assuming that, you know, of course, assuming that Santa Claus, you know, is real and all the nonsense that happens with that happens because of him, right? If I don't, then Christmas is ruined because of every Christmas movie that's ever happened, right? So that would be what I would do. As soon as like I know for a fact this is fully legitimate, I guess I'm moving to the North Pole. I would hope that I can still, stream. I'd like to still have time for that. I probably wouldn't need my actual job anymore, like my current day job, since now I'm Santa Claus. But I would hope that I can still stream. Why do you see the Windows XP wallpaper? Incredible question. I was thinking the same thing. That's just what the world looks like in this area. Just can't stream on Christmas time? Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's valid. It's crunch time. I'm busy. I can't do that shit. But yeah, no, I would probably do it. Yeah, easy. Also, I missed a count from before. Okay, let me do math real quick. I think I need 21 for this, or 21 or 24, unfortunately. So I think I actually have to run from this Bobo. Because that's 5, 10, 12, 16. Oh wait, no, I'm good. Yeah, 5, 10, plus 6 is 16. So yeah, no, I'm good. Okay, cool. And then Pyro. Da bomb. How much longer will I stream? I got about an hour and a half. Probably until I beat the game. We'll defend. We'll snooze. We'll defend. We'll count up to 11. And then we'll go heal. Also, you will at some point get kidnapped by terrorists and have to be saved by Timothy Chestnut. Is an important part of the Santa Claus experience. Of course, I expect nothing else. It does not impact that whole deal. All right, we're gonna keep going. Basically, to let you know what's happening right now, Straylight, I will be getting back to Guardians Crusade speedruns in 2026, but I need to derust and remember how to play this game. So this is kind of like a guided playthrough of the slide percent run, which, depending on how followable it is, we might be able to just use as a video tutorial. Then I'll just kind of cut out as I go. I might edit it down and then have like an actual video tutorial of the current route with a few things to talk about and look out for. My stats right now are absolutely bonkers. Like, I need to be like mid 500s by the end of God's Tower. I'm already at 342. So we are cooking. If it's followable enough, you can use it to slide into her DMs. Perfect. That's the strat. That's been the strat all along. Streaming so chilly like Derust, launching into your dead, tired, and fall asleep for the honestly, that's a huge compliment. Thank you so much. Defend. My goal with my stream, more than anything else, is to create a comfortable experience for those who come by and watch. Because the world's kind of rough a lot of the time. Especially, you know, I mean, I don't want to say especially, but just like the world's kind of nasty. And so it's nice to have a more chill place that you can hang out and not worry about it and just kind of vibe. Dead boring? That's also my goal. I want you to hate your time here. I know you just fall asleep so you don't have to experience the stream anymore. I know how it is. I do the same thing. I hit a fugue state about 20 minutes in, and I'm actually not conscious the entire time I'm doing this. Could you Georg my pair? And you just hope that she's played Minish Cap before. The font choice is so critical for that Lancer. I forgot to defend. Which isn't a massive problem, but it really could have been. Now I need to defend again. Cool. We would need to go back to the inn and heal after this anyways. We're at 18. Please, Lon. The please. The please is just like, please, Lon on me until I ranch. Shit, man. I didn't get the chance to tell her I have Tektites. I have to call her and tell her to reach out to her doctor. Sorry. It's not about the confidence, it's about respect. There's a sensitive soul in there, Lancer, and sometimes that's really attractive. Okay, we're up to 20. If I could fight 3 more Bobos, that would be fantastic. Unfortunate. I believe right now Bobos are still the large white ghosts as opposed to the medium pink ones. Well, I have to have confidence and respect in equal measure. That's fair. It depends. Everyone's different. Everyone's preferences are different. So now oh, never mind. Bobos are still the large white ones. Cool beans. But it won't be that way for long. Being at almost 400 hit points right now and not quite being done with the grind is kind of insane. So I'm taking no damage from this nonsense. Okay, we're at 23. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, 60 power? Huge. Okay, now everyone should be pink. So now it's just RNG. Oh, that's just luck of whether or not I find another Bobo. For example, bad luck. But we can just pyro and slap him around and be fine. Okay. I have enough psychic points for one more fight. Hopefully it's a Bobo. and that'll get me enough money to do the shopping I need. If it's not a Bobo, I'm gonna try to run. Like if it's a dino, I'll just try to run from it. Good. Vapor. Pyro. DeBarum. Defender. Eepy. Defender. Murderer. Now, everyone should be pink. True. Because when everyone's pink, no one will be. Alright, so now we hope that I did enough grinding and I can buy the cool shit that I need. Okay, I can sell this, and this, and this, and this. And then I need the Freedom Ring, which prevents paralysis. Go for this, and this. And then I can do... If I do this, and then I can also do the Crusher Sword and still have some money. Cool. Alright, I was able to get what I needed. Hey girls, you realize the water temple? Because I got quite lost in them. Nice. Counterpoint based on my life experience. Hey girl, are you the water temple? Because I keep having to start over. And I feel like I used a key in the wrong hole and now I have to start over from the very beginning of my life. Anyway, so now we're at another RNG hell. So I'm gonna pause the game. We're gonna equip all the cool shit that we got. It's not a good pickup line. True, but let me tell you, this nonsense, it worked. So let's talk about luck, okay? Luck is a real stat. You can see it. It's over there. Luck ranges in a value from 0 to something, 256. 0 to 255, right? So there are 256 values, because it's 1 through 255 and then including 0, right? There are 256 values that luck can have, depending on the range that you rest in, that you end up at, and it resets every time you rest at an inn, right? Determines what your luck is. And it goes from awful to bad to not bad to good. I need good luck because I need to be able to run away. Being able to run away from encounters is based primarily on your luck stat and not your agility stat. Agility is considered after luck. So if you have bad luck or even not bad luck, right? It says not bad. You're not going to be super likely to run away from enemies, especially those that are stronger. But if you have the good luck stat, you're going to be able to run away. It's really important. So now I need to rest at this inn over and over and over until my luck says good. It's just as awful as it sounds. If you do not have enough money to rest at the inn, he'll say, damn, you poor, and then he'll shove you across the street. I don't have to save the game because it doesn't matter and it saves me a little bit of time. Whoops. And then I check this. Luck says not bad. That's not good enough. I don't want to talk to you. Smells like broken here. True. And now we check the menu again and we see what we got. Not bad, not what I want. In terms of the 0 to 255 scale, the result of not bad is the largest like pool of results. So it's the most likely result to get. And it sucks because I need good. this part of the run can lose you a lot of time if you are as unlucky as I am. Got not bad again, so I have to go try it again. All right, here we go. I don't keep a track of how many times I've rested at the end. Not bad. Oh boy. Oh, at this point, hopes of world record are pretty slim. This RNG sucks. We did it! We got good luck! Woo! I would hit the split now. And now what we need to do is get the glitched state again. Because now we're going to do Triskin skip. Normally to get past this area, you would have to go into the castle, catch a thief, talk to a bunch of people, and then make my way through a mountain pass. I don't have time for that. I don't give a heck darn or a hootenanny. So I'm going to set up my glitched state and cheat. And apparently get into an encounter because I moved poorly. But I should be able to run because I have good luck. Yay! And by should be able to, I mean it's basically guaranteed to run away. If you want to know how important the luck stat is in terms of like running away, I was level 35, which is a pretty high level in this game. And I was going against the first enemy in the game. And I had bad luck. And I was not able to run away from the first enemy in the game. And then it hit me for 1 damage and killed me, and I lost the run. Yay haru. So now we're going to do Triskin skip. I am going to go ahead and save the state here. I'm going to talk to Nahani to partially clear the glitched state. I'm going to open my menu. As soon as this... and you're going to see some weird shit, right? So remember, I have the Nahani text and the sign text stored because I used them both at the same time. Talking to Nahani clears the Nahani text, but leaves the sign text stored. When you do that, pausing the game allows the text box from the sign to load, which tells me if I go to the east, I'll go to Triskin. If I go to the west, it's a guard tower. From here, I want to progress that text box by going into my items. And now I have left the text box, but I'm still paused, so I can still move around. I am going to use circle and hold it so it goes back to the main screen of my pause menu, and I am able to walk to the right to trigger the text that says, hey, get the fuck out of here. And now I am in this really weird state. And I just ballsed it up. Because I forgot what I was doing. Load. So we'll Nahani to clear. We'll pause. I cleared too many text boxes. Wait, am I forgetting how to do this? I'm definitely screwing something up. Hold on. I have forgotten how to do Triskin skip. What's happening? Why am I wrong? Whoa! Crashed the whole emulator. I knew that was wrong as soon as I did it, but I didn't think it would be that wrong. History, Guardians Crusade, run. Oh god, I have to fix this every time? No goddamn way. Ugh. Why is this happening? Hold on. I'm so mad. Main menu. There we go. That fixes it. Okay. We're back where we left off. To a universal 6-7. Alright, because you have 3. So, yeah, okay. Good work, Lancer. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. What's happening? Have I completely forgotten how to do this? It's not that. I tried that already. Okay, let me go into my settings. Let me change some settings here really quick. 4x3. Full screen mode. Start in full screen mode is turned off. Okay. Save current configuration. So now if I relaunch RetroArch, it should launch in the preferred way. Yeah, but the window's in a dumb spot, but that's fine. I can fix that. And now we can go here to here. Run that shit. Cool. Everything's fine. All right. Do I have to watch a video tutorial on how to do Triskin slide? Because I've completely forgotten, I guess. Because if I pause, then we're just cooked. So. Yeah, the whole thing's messed up. Why? Alright, I literally have to watch a tutorial on Triskin's line because I've forgotten how to do it. I guess. Or Triskin skip. Alright, bear with me. So we're running. We do Nahani text. We pause the game. And what the hell did you just do? Oh, I forgot. I have to go to Nahani and talk to Nahani to get out of the Xbox. Okay. Picked up the game during the Boxing Day sale. Canada alert. Got him. Oh, you're gonna point and laugh at Lancer. I'm just kidding. Baldur's Gate 3, nice. Have fun with that game. Unfortunately, I really wanted to have so much fun with that game, and then I just couldn't actually get into it. I soft lock myself, yeah. Did a little too fast. There we go. So now we're gonna walk down. And I did square and X at the same time to do Nahani and talking. And now we're gonna use this information, or use all of these steps to skip past the guards. So the reason why I walked down out of Triskin and then did the buttons and then came back up is because of super fun and weird quirk with this game. So the little dragon monster baby that follows you has ditto powers and can transform into some enemies that you've encountered. You can think like a blue mage, or like Gao from Final Fantasy VI is another good example, but I have less control over what and when baby transforms. By doing Triskin skip and the slide, it puts a glitched bit of data into the transformation menu, and so if baby essentially transforms into a cutscene, your game soft locks because it can't do that. By walking down out of Triskin and then doing the square and X at the same time, and then walking back up, that fixes that problem so you don't have an issue. Gloop from Master of the Monster Lair? Sure. Sure, man. And I'll know if I did the fix correctly if the camera fixes itself here in a second. Oh, fuck. Actually, this is worse. I messed up. That was weird. Hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean I get an encounter here? That's so weird. All right. This is going perfectly. Okay. All right. That was really awkward, but we're good now. So now I'll go until I'm not walking anymore. Hit X. Do a little up and down wiggling. Now I'm using specifically the mini-map to navigate my way through here. That's better. Camera fixes itself. Enemies are still not moving. I will have to fix that in just a second when I get to the end of, near the end of this place, because I do need to get some money and I need to clear the glitch. I did the wrong thing. This is why we practice, everybody. So we can remember what the frick we're doing. Update. I won't. But all of these mistakes are going to help me actually relearn this stuff and get it back in muscle memory. So I'm going until the world disappears. Then I'm walking straight up. It's like 3 or 4. I think more than that. I don't know. It's all been a skill issue. No doubt about it. There's a lot of crash. Yeah, there's definitely been more than that. That's what we're talking about. Absolutely. Okay, we're in. Now I need to do square and X at the same time. A Nahani plus cancel. In order to clear this, I just did a Nahani only the last time, and that's why the game crashed. Now I'm gonna walk diagonally to get enemies to spawn. And I need to fight 2 things in order to have enough money to afford what I need to buy. Just Pyro and Whack-em is enough for this. I don't need to do... There's no point in doing Why Me because all of the attacks are area of effect. That's super weird. That's super weird. I have a lot of dislike for the Skylander series because of how they used Spyro as a launchpad marketing tool and then abandoned him completely. Like basically started to phase him out. Don't die. Thank you. Thank you for not dying. Yikes. Like, I'm sure Skylanders is fun, but I'll tell you what, on principle, it's on site. They only used Spyro. They put Spyro in it because it was Spyro. It was like Spyro, Skylanders, something, whatever, right? And Spyro was very like front and center. Like this is, it looked like Spyro was main character with the way they did the marketing. And then when the games actually came out, they slowly started to, and not, it wasn't even that slow, started to phase out Spyro and focus on all of these brand new characters and plot lines and areas and whatever. And now Spyro's barely a thing in it. And I hate that so much because they ruined Spyro forever. Like, we will never get a new mainline type Spyro game. And Enter the Dragonfly, the fourth Spyro game on the PlayStation 2, that one kind of sucked. And that kind of hurt the Spyro franchise. And then Skylanders kind of sealed the deal. And we got the Reignited trilogy, and that was great, but I don't think we're ever going to get a new mainline Spyro game because of the 1-2 punch of Enter the Dragonfly. And the Telltale games don't count. They do, but they're not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the Insomniac style Spyro games. The Telltale games, I think it was, that did like the whole like reimagining of Spyro. That was a whole separate thing, and that started because of the End of the Dragonfly, and I think also the Skylander stuff. Hold on, let me check timelines. I'm curious. So let's see, it was 2011 that Spyro Skylanders, it was Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. That happened October 2011. And the Legend of Spyro series. When did that start? It's 2006 with A New Beginning, Dawn of the Dragon, or The New Beginning, Eternal Night, and Dawn of the Dragon. There was Spyro Orange on the GBA. Like, there's a couple like handheld games. So I'm going to sell a bunch of old crud and then buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I need to buy a wooden cross here. I don't need to. Should I? No, because I buy it in Purple. Yeah, we'll just exit out and we'll leave. So we have Spanch. Spinach snacks are the best healing item in the game. They heal 350 HP or something like that. Now my goal is to not fight anything here. And this is why the good luck stat was so critically important, because I can run away from all of the encounters that I find. 1 3D Spyro after Enter the Dragonfly was kind of shit. I don't think so. Oh, there was a third one. I thought I was going to be able to slip through. I might have been able to slip through if I went a little higher, because it seemed like everyone else was stuck in the wall, but it's fine. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh god, you really followed me. I was trying to despawn and then re-enter the area to try to save a little time in encounters, but that sure didn't work. Yeah, I don't think so. It's possible. I just remember Enter the Dragonfly being really bad. And then I don't know if anything happened between that and the Legend of Spyro games. I do know that Legend of Spyro came out on both the PS2 and the DS. And they were very different games. Like, the storyline was essentially the same, but the gameplay was very different. Also, I was not a big fan of the Legend of Spyro games. Dude, Spyro Orange, I will say I did 100% complete that game as a kid, like as much as you can 100% complete it without Crash Purple, the game that went with it, that paired with it, but was not with it, you know? The game was bad. It was the same like 6 mini games, all with more and more difficulty, and it wasn't fun difficulty, it was just bullshit. Alright, so now we talk to Anduin, and then we can talk to this green person to save the game. Because now we are going to fight Glor. Sounds like Crash Bash. It was if Crash Bash was bad. These mini games were just so bad. They were not fun. They were wildly repetitive. Because Crash Bash at least had like uniqueness in some of them, but still, like, yeah, Crash Bash is bad, but it's worse. The mini games were not fun. They made no sense. Like, one of them was just driving a tank through like a vertical, like a top-down vertical scrolling auto scroller, and you had to make it to the end without touching anything or you died. It's all so bad. I now want to get through this area without encountering anything. No. Stop. Go away! I don't know what my luck stat is, so maybe I can run and maybe I'll die. You know what? No. Run. I can't run. Okay. No, I feel like this is just bad. So I think I have to do a reload from the save, because I burn a lot of resources and nope, I don't want to do a new game. Oh, it's just the R key for me. Well, that's super nice. Yeah, I hated Spyro Orange. Oh shit, runs over. I'm gonna make a save state. So the reason this sucks is because I lost the glitch. So everything's gonna be stupidly slow. I'm gonna lose. Doing this, I'm losing maybe 10 minutes. Like, unironically, I think I'm losing that much with how slow everything is. No, what ruined my run was bad movement and then encountering an enemy. What I should have done is finished the encounter and then went back and re-healed, which still would have lost time, but it wouldn't have lost everything. I'm so bummed. Anyways, let's continue from the Glor save state that I have. There we go. So basically, if I made it to God's Tower correctly instead of failing, I would now be in the Glor fight. This is a worse Glor fight than I would have had because my level ups were kind of insane for what I had. So we're gonna, you know what? No, I don't want to do this. I want my run. The one that I had. We'll do Triscan Soup again. Because I have so much more HP. Like, everything is so much better on this run than it is on the other one. So we're just not gonna fuck it up this time, and we'll make a save state when we get to the church. Or when we're leaving the church. This is good practice for me anyway. Yeah, I put way more time into Spyro Orange than it deserved, I'm not gonna lie. The game was dumb and annoying, and it looked bad, and it played poorly. Nothing about it was good or fun, but I played it because it was the closest thing to a Spyro game that I had, and it was on the Game Boy Advance, so I could play it on the road. Yay! But it was so bad. Oh, that's right. I can stun with Viper. I forgot. That's why I was taking so much more damage than I'm used to. Because you can stun with Viper and then kill him with Pyro and regular attacks. And there's no risk of dying here. But you get about 3,000. I need to buy 5 spinach snacks. Spinach snacks are 800 a piece, so that's 4K. And I want to restock on Peach Potions as well, which they're only 10 a piece. But I need to fight 2 of these guys. Using the Viper saves time as opposed to just taking the damage, because it saves on sitting through the animations of his attack for 2 turns. Easy peasy. Yeah, I have about 50 more HP than the other Glore save state that I have. Also, I learned not changing your camera angle reduces lag by a ton. Okay, spanched. Oh, hey, how's it going? I didn't expect them to be bunched up in the middle. Dude, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition. That's the truth. Oh, we skipping encounters. Let's go. We skipping so many encounters. We are very lucky when it comes to skipping encounters. I'm totally fine with that. Popeye looks upon me with pride. It's all I've ever hoped for. I can't get the approval of my dad, so I'm hoping that at least I can get Popeye. That's the whole reason I started running Guardians Crusade. It's not true. What? What? Hell yeah, dude. We're like basically brothers now. This is just the plot of Step Brothers. As someone who's never seen Step Brothers. Because I don't care for Will Ferrell. So now I'm doing a little bit more careful specific movement to get through this area and dodge the encounters. using my cardinal directions just a little bit more to sneak around things. And now I have to hope that I remember how to do this. So let me save the state. That button. Oh, wait, no, I don't have to do the skip. I'm dumb. Just mash. It's Glor skip skip. So essentially, plot-wise, what's happening here is those three guys on the right, the old man, the paladin, and the mage lady, they were the heroes that were collecting these gems. And then you find out, uh-oh, little old man is actually an evil person working against them, and he was collecting the crystals for his real boss, Carmine. Carmine runs a cult that's turning people's parents into monsters. And Carmine rewards Gwynladden's loyalty to turn him into a mindless monster to kill things. Wow, turns out being a bad guy doesn't work out for you. Gwynladden, now called Glor, is now going to kill everyone until we kill him. Carmine is incapable of wiping his own ass. This is important lore. That is very true. That's very true. Very important. Very important. In the previous route for slide percent, we would do a slide that takes you directly to the church, and then we would have a glitch from there to skip the Glor fight. However, that run sucked really bad. The RNG was disgusting, and you had to do a lot of grinding in God's Tower, and it was hell. We decided that this is better. It saves time. It's a lot more consistent. We get a paralyzed ring so that we don't have to deal with that nonsense against Carmine. But the problem is that we don't get to skip Glor anymore because we don't have the setup that lets us have the right glitched state. Carmine does look like a Yu-Gi-Oh villain. You're absolutely correct, Lancer. So now we're gonna fight Glor. This is unfortunately Glor of Lancer's comfort character. So Glor has two different attacks, as you saw. He has Nail Blade, a single target attack, and then he has Death Breath. Death Breath deals slightly less damage than Nail Blade, but it is area of effect. This is important. So living toys do not have a set amount of HP, where they take X amount of damage, they die. They have an amount of hits that they are able to take, regardless of the amount of damage it is. Some living toys only can get hit once, some 2 or 3 times. Wyme is special because he can get hit 10 times. So I'm gonna put out Wyme here for turn 1, and then I need Glor to Nail Blade Wyme as much as possible. I need Da Bomb to go off because that's going to deal like 300 damage, which is huge. And I need Da Bomb to not get killed by getting Death Breathed every turn. I also need him to be doing Nail Blade because Pyro is going to be up dealing damage every single turn. The more damage I get out of Pyro and Da Bomb is what makes this fight doable at my current level. So we put out Wyme. It doesn't really matter what he uses this turn. We put out Pyro. I would rather Nail Blades from now on. Perfect. We now put out Da Bomb. And now I require at least 1 Nail Blade for the next 3 turns. Perfect, we're in the money. I attack once. I attack twice, I fail, I hit Wyme this time. That's a bummer. I now defend. So Da Bomb can go off for almost 300 damage. Pyro, however, also died because of the amount of Death Breaths I got. And now we're gonna use a Spinach Snack to heal up. And then I'm gonna put out Stare. Stare does anywhere between 1 and 75 damage. And if he rolls, or 10 and 75 damage. So if he rolls well, he can do pretty well for himself. Wymie is now dead, so I do need to keep myself healthy. And now I just need to hope that I can deal enough damage to Glor before I die. And based on the amount of nail blades, I should be okay. I survived one more hit. I can pop 2 spinach snacks to get myself nice and healthy. He should go down pretty soon here. Nice crit. All right, great. I don't know if that crit mattered, but it was still cool. We beat Glor, we level up, we're out of here. And now we have to go and tell the magic old man that these two are probably dying. And it's gonna be great and cool and neat. And I want to avoid encounters as much as possible by doing this set of movement. Hop over this little thing here and we're good. I turn north again and we are in there. Easy peasy. I almost got the camera right. Mashing through this text box for Arvin's like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Also, Baby, the little baby monster, is talking here. However, because I never actually got them, they're not here. So it just looks like I have a quick little schizophrenia spell, and then I get Gabriel. Gabriel fully heals you, 100% heal, costs 50 psychic points, so it's a big deal. It's fine. I didn't save. I would like to save. Okay. Mod for Yugi and Dragon Ball Fighter Z. It looks fucking... I had no idea. And now we save. And now we do the same movement again through this area, generally speaking, and avoid as many encounters as I can. Okay. I don't know what my in-game luck stat is. Let's find out if I can run. Although, for 2 Octogugs, I'm gonna do this fight anyways, I think. No, let's try to run. Nope. Okay. Does not bode well. So this is another really annoying RNG part of the run. I would really like to have good running luck for when it's time to start running from battles, so I'm not draining resources. There are 3 boss fights in the upcoming dungeon. They are almost back to back, but not quite. So in between those boss fights, my resources can be drained by random encounters, and there's not a whole lot that I can do about it. Okay. Yeah, we're kind of cooking on stats right now, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god, I'm stuck in a tree. Yugi has Berserker Soul as a super. He's got all the traps and magic cards. He can summon all his monsters to attack. He's got Silpher as a super. Alright, I have to watch what I'm doing. Okay, I'll go over here since there's enemies on both sides. That's really annoying, but whatever. So I'm getting the Miracle Armor. So all of the shit that I bought in Triscan was just to get here. Now that I am here, I do not need it anymore. I am getting the next upgraded armor. This is actually some of the best armor in the game that we'll be having access to for the purposes of this run. So we're going to be using it for the final boss. I am going to grab a Spanch snack because I used them all. That's pretty fun. Alright, so now we're gonna try to get through here and not fucking die. Fingers crossed. Okay, this is pretty ideal for a first encounter. I do want to equip my shit. And I'm gonna burn my hamburger here. Additional hamburger after I do a bomb, actually. Well, no, I don't need a bomb. We'll do another hamburger just to keep me a little bit safer. And now I should be able to just kill him. Great. Yeah, bomb was not necessary at all. I would like to get 1, maybe 2 more levels on my way up to the resting area, just to be a little safer on HP. This sucks though. Getting just the single fights. What I want to find are the are hangries. They're like red puppets with knife looking things, like like beanbag puppets with knives. They give really good experience. They're a little more dangerous, but they give good experience. And I'm not actually in any real danger right now because of the new equipment that I have. All right, so we're at 538 right now, which is pretty good. So we'll pyro. We'll bomb. We'll attack the other Octogug. And then we'll go rest up. If I get a level up on this fight, actually. Okay, we'll do 1 more attack. We'll defend. Explosion happens, they both die, everything's great. Do I get a level up and how much HP? Nope. Okay, so we'll fight 1 more encounter. And then we'll go save. Oh. Alright, so here's a single hangry. It might be enough. It might be enough to level up. We'll find out. $570. That's a really good amount of HP. I'm just gonna have to punch through you so I can get to the save spot. Ow. Ow. Okay, we'll Wymie. Pyro. The bomb. And then I'll attack the second guy since Pyro's mainly dealing damage to the first guy, just to try to even out the damage as much as I can. I did fail though. I'm gonna just No, I'm not taking a lot of damage. So I have really good power right now. Because he's gonna hit me for almost nothing. But I'll defend. You'll take a bunch of damage. You'll take some damage. I can just kill you now. So we're fine. Then we'll save and head up to the first boss, Mario. I don't remember his actual name. We are level 32. So here's our first boss. Anzo. Here we go. We will save. So Anzo has only area of effect attacks, so using Wymie just wastes a turn. You put out Pyro, and you just kick the shit out of him and hope that you're okay. He has an ability that can confuse you, so you don't want that. Here's Mind Rings. Can I avoid the confusion? Yes, I can. I will use a spinach snack to heal myself. Don't get confused. Oh shit, just attack him. Thank you. Okay. I'm still confused. I thought I won, so I got illusioned is what that's called. I'm still confused. And this is an example of how RNG can actually just screw you over and there's nothing you can do about it. You're totally fine, Lancer. You're excited about the stuff you're talking about, and that's what's really important. I, however, did not have good RNG. I got confused for 4 turns in a row. I forgot how bad this run can get. It gets really bad. You can have the greatest level ups in the world, but it doesn't matter if you just get confused for 4 turns in a row. Me doing V-Vlog? Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, I'm gonna use a Spanch on the next turn here. So far, he hasn't confused me, but now he will. Unless it misses. It missed. Good news. Stomp Stomp is the attack that I always want to see. First of all, it's the fastest attack, and second of all, it doesn't confuse me. I am now confused. And I'm now dead. Oh my god, I'm alive, but it doesn't matter. I'm dead. Let's just load the save state from where we were, because I don't feel like going back through it. Yeah, all of this is pretty much out of my control. I did get a little risky business, letting myself get to about half without healing. But is what it is. Alright, Mind Rings. Let's see if RNG gets me again. It does not this time. I Spanch to keep myself healthy. Just don't have the motivation to finish it. That's valid. Okay, he's gonna go for it again. Misses again. I do not have any more healing items, so we're gonna go ahead and use Nurse. I go back and heal anyways. Gabriel is worth it. Okay, laser cannon's good. Okay, I'm confused. Just attack him and win. That's how that fight's supposed to kind of go. So now we get Dark Cross. Dark Cross is important later. If you are going against a light elemental enemy, Dark Cross will insta-kill it. Now, I'm going to save a state here. And I'm going to pause. I'm just going to see what my luck is. My luck is not bad. I might be able to run away from enemies. It's not going to be super likely, though. This is not information that I would normally have in a run. At this point, I'm just hoping that I have a decent enough luck stat to avoid some of these fights, because I do not want to have to drain resources. I did not have to fight this, but I was fumbling with my camera. I could have just run through and been fine. Alright, let's find out if I can run. Cool. I can run from Octogugs. I don't know how consistent it is that I can, but that's good to know. That's valuable information, at least. Single hangry. Perfect. I can run away from these. Good to know. Double hangries might be too much to run from. We'll find out if I encounter one. I think this is the last floor before I fight Luigi. Okay, Okay, I'm going to do Wymie. I don't have any healing items. Let's do... Nurse gives me a third of my HP back, which is about 200 for 5. I think that's worth it. Then I'll try to run away. Cool. Okay. This is a pretty solid position to be in. And now we fight Luigi. Forgot his name, was thinking it was Lucius. We've all been there. Oh. So this fight is exactly the same as the one that we just did. The only difference is this guy deals a little bit less damage and is a little bit tankier. Kind of like the difference between Mario and Luigi in the Mario and Luigi RPGs. I'm gonna put out Pyro and then attack a bunch and hope that I don't die. He has the exact same moves with slightly different animations that deal less damage. Okay. Good, we nurse. I will nurse one more time. Never mind. I'm gonna use a peach potion here. And then nurse. As long as I'm not confused. I didn't get confused. I want to be pretty healed up without using too much of my psychic points by the time I get into the next fight. That crit was kind of brutal. Okay, we'll heal up here with another nurse. I don't want to get confused comboed. We'll go for one more attack. And then we'll have to heal again, maybe a couple times. It might be worth it to nurse twice and then use a peach potion. Don't get confused. Uh-oh. Okay. This should be fine. This should be fine. So I just got Holy Cross. Holy Cross does the exact same thing as Dark Cross, except for dark elemental enemies as opposed to light elemental enemies. True. Big facts. It's one of my favorite jokes from the casual playthrough of this game. So welcome to Carmine. Carmine used to be the worst fight in the game. He still kind of sucks, but because we have the paralysis ring, he's not nearly as bad as he used to. So essentially, he killed Baby's mom. Spoiler alert. That's why you see blood all over the floor, and the fact that her stomach is actually just cut open, and you can see the guts. Basically, there was a sealing spell held within the mama that was sealing Zyzen, the god of chaos I talked about way earlier in the stream. That sealing spell was passed on from the mama to the child, and so Carmine literally just killed Baby. So he went for the mama-son double kill right now, and got the sealing spell so he can release Zyzen. These people that we've never met before, but would have met if we played the game normally, are fighting Carmine. They have their personal reasons for it. But they're gonna get their shit wrecked. And then I have to go in with my little wind-up toys and do the job for them. You're doing great, Lancer. Doing a great job. So welcome to Carmine. He has a few single target attacks. He got Phoenix Drive and Robo Blade, and then he has an AoE. The AoE blade attack is called Checkmate. It's that lightning bolt attack that we saw earlier. Checkmate has a decently high chance to paralyze you. I have a ring on that makes it where I can't be paralyzed. The fight against Carmine right now is very similar in sense to the Glor fight, where I want him to use single target attacks all the time so that I can deal as much damage as possible with Da Bomb and Pyro. But we're gonna start with Wymie. I'm gonna get Da Bomb out right away. I'm gonna wait to bring out Pyro until after Da Bomb goes off. That way Pyro is at full HP. I'm gonna use this opportunity to heal with Nurse. That's the other reason. I can only have 3 living toys out at a time. Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna go for an attack here. Oh, hitting Wymie sucks really bad. I'm gonna defend. Explosion happens. It's 300 damage. It's pretty good. We now bring out Pyro. If he does a checkmate, I'll heal. If not, I'll attack. Okay, I'm gonna heal. Pixie Dust, actually kind of clutch. Gets me just a little bit healthier. Pixie Dust heals you for, I think, like 10% HP or something, maybe 5%. So it's not a huge deal. Not a huge heal, but it's still nice. And now we just attack Carmine and hope that he dies. Really good RNG for that section. Now I just need Pyro to deal a shit ton of damage for me. Because there is a wide range in the amount of damage that he can deal. And I want him to deal on the upper end as much as possible. He is pretty consistently going above 100 though, so that's really good. That's 60 so bad. Oh my god. Alright, need to heal. Another 60. Oh, and a checkmate. Oh, he's still alive. I'm gonna heal up, keep myself healthy. As soon as Pyro dies, I'm the only source of damage, so I need to keep myself alive. Also, if I die, then everyone dies. 168, really good. Pyro goes away. I'm gonna heal because I got crit. I have to keep an eye on my psychic points. Okay, we're gonna start healing. Just gonna kind of spam heal for a bit, and then use a peach potion as needed. I am healing more than he's dealing to me, but not by a ton. Nice face slap. Well done. We'll rock another Nurse. I cannot use Pyro or Da Bomb or Wymie again in this fight. Once they're dead for the fight. Okay, I'll do my final Nurse and then use use a Peach Potion to give me back 4 more uses essentially. To heal up because he can deal more than 150 to me, which sucks. I'm gonna burn another peach potion just in case. I'm gonna Nurse one more time and then I should be able to attack after this. We'll see how much damage he does to me. Okay, I'm at 237, I can attack, and he's dead actually, so I could have gone for the attack had I been tracking HP better. But that's Carmine. So that's Carmine dead, yeehaw. And then I just skipped through a whole bunch of cutscenes and nonsense. Yeah, Carmine becomes a centaur. Not quite yet, but when we get to the final boss, Carmine's gonna be a centaur. We don't have to fight Carmine, but it is what it is. So, Baby's mom, the dragon, just used the last of her life force to bring Baby back to life. And now also give Baby the ability to fly. Also, that's Rabbit Jesus. Rabbit Jesus originally set us on this quest to God's Tower. I just skipped all of it by doing cool nerd shit. And now we get out of here. All right, welcome to Picard, ancient civilization super secret. I'm gonna pick up Versius. Versius is a critical living toy for setting up the TVD combo. TVD is for Tough Wall, Versius, and Draken. Versius. So Draken deals 50% of everyone's max HP in damage to them. Tough Wall protects you from all damage for 10 hits. Or less than that. Maybe it's 10. I don't know. Or like 3 or 4, actually. 3 hits. Something like that. And then Versius doubles all damage that everyone takes. So you put them all together, and you have a living toy that deals 100% of your max HP rounded down on an odd value, which is important. And the Tough Wall, which protects you from any damage that you could be taking. It's great. Remember this part of the game because we were talking about Waka and FF10 during this part? Hell yeah. So now we are backtracking. So we are now using these warp gates that you would have seen a few times throughout the game, but we skipped all of it. We are now back in Kerpel. I think it's called, not Kerpel. Kel, where we fought Mushmare at the very beginning of this run. We are going to continue further into the cave where we were supposed to go forever and a half ago, and we are now going to get a usable baby. The baby that's with us is not real. If I were to pause the game right now, you would see that I do not have a baby in my party menu. Oh my god, you're shitting me. Okay, we're fine. But by going through the rooms of this cave, encountering an enemy, I guess. We will encounter the Gale Stork, the first major boss fight of the game. We'll kill him in 2 hits, and then we will receive the actual baby that's able to join our party. Waka and his Blitzball podcast? Hell yeah, I remember now. So this is the Gale Stork. This is a being of legend. It was used to help seal Zizan the first time. We're just gonna kill it. Yeah, we're gonna replace our baby with a baby we actually care about. Just for legal reasons, this is a joke. Don't do this. The Gale Stork's still alive! Run! Blah! Even though I have more than enough strength to kill the Gale Stork, I run away, am rescued, and wake up in the coastal inn. And now we can do cool stuff. Yeah, we need to nurture the new baby to become big and strong, to become a dragon that can defeat a god. All right. So, cool. The guy that we just talked to, by the way, his name is Bonnick. He wants to open a shop. He's not really important, but he does give us some cool things. Oh my god, I'm stuck on people. It's my original character, Bonnick. Alright, so we now have a baby. I'm gonna pause the game, which is going to remove the glitched state. But we're gonna use this to fly. You probably did, Lancer. And now we are going for a few very important living toys. First one is Foreman. Foreman is kind of like your warp spell from Final Fantasy. If you were inside of a dungeon, you can use that spell, you can use that living toy, and hippity hip hop your way out of the dungeon back to the entrance. We're going to be going into what I would consider like the first actual dungeon of the game to get it. We're not going to fight the boss or anything like that. We're just going to get in and get it out. Foreman creates a grill at any time. True. That is exactly how it works. You're so right, Lancer. But yeah, we're making our way to this place. The Caldo Ruins, I think it's called. So now we no longer have our glitched state, so the game is now running at its normal speed. There unfortunately is nothing we can do to get around this. It just do what it be. But it's fine. We're experiencing the game. Now, an important part about this is I don't want Baby to die. The more Baby dies, the more likely it is that Baby will not want to listen to the things I tell it to do, which will become a massive problem later. So here's hoping everything works out. Oh, there's so many enemies I have to dodge. What a bummer. Foreman has a large inferiority complex towards his brother Fiveman. Valid. So glad that I can run away from these encounters, by the way. Alright, so we're now going to do the first encounter that I'm actually going to be fighting with Baby is another Mimic Chest, weaker than the one we fought a long time ago. The fight is going to be exactly the same as it was, but now with a baby. I'm just going to tell you to defend. I'm going to whip out Wymie and Pyro and then attack. Yeah, see, Baby's not listening to me because it doesn't respect me, which is valid. The twins, 6'7". Stop. Can you please attack the chest? Oh my god. Alright, at least Pyro's got me. So this will give baby a few levels. And by a few, I mean 10. But now we have Pyro. And I can use Pyro, or use Foreman, sorry, to just get out of the dungeon. And now I want to go to the southwest. So I will tap southwest, pause, go to baby, fly, and it's great. I didn't think you would, Lancer. So that weird yellow shape on the top of our mini map, that's the tower we're going to. This tower is normally closed off. You have to talk to some NPCs to open it up. However, there is a tiny gap between the doorway and the trigger to push you away. So you just kind of approach it from here, mash A as you're flying, and you'll kind of slip into that gap, and you can just go right into the dungeon. Okay. Getting an encounter here is not too bad. It does give an opportunity for some experience on baby, but it can also backfire really horribly, so. What is my luck? It's not bad. I should be able to run then if I need to. But no, we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna living toy Foreman out. I'm not gonna risk it. We'll just hope for good luck in Nord Temple. But now we're gonna be going to the northwest. Baby fly. So we just got Tough Wall. Tough Wall blocks 3 hits on 1 target. I'll usually be targeting myself. I'm going the wrong way. No. No, Ryan is the last place we go. Because, and the reason for that is because Nord Temple is where we get Draken, and we need to build the TVD combo before we can take on any of the Guardians. So it makes sense, it makes the most sense to do Nord Temple first. There was a little bit of a reroute after we had already done a couple runs, and that switches around the order of a few things, but yeah, it's still mostly the same, just a little more optimized. Oh, I was way off course. Fixed it. All right, I'm gonna save a state here because this is another RNG crutch. So this is a critical part of the run where I need to get experience on baby, and that can either work really easily and everything's great, or it doesn't and everything's awful. So we'll see how it goes. There are enemies of the light element in here, And if I can get the turn and kill them with Dark Cross, we get a bunch of experience. Yeah, there's Draken. But if they go first, which they probably will, they're very high agility. And if they kill baby or put me to sleep, it's basically run over. So... also, there are a lot of enemies in here that just have all AoE attacks, so we're kind of cooked. So here's the Igor. Limb grab on the baby and double focusing the baby, so baby is dead. So not good. Not good luck. Running from the battle puts baby back to 1 HP. And then I can use, what, a hamburger? No, I want to use a cheeseburger. Get baby back up to full. The baby back, baby back, baby back. Okay, avoiding an encounter in there is pretty ideal. I have a low chance of finding Igors in there. I'll mainly find them up here. One Igor is all I need. 2 is ideal, though. It gives a good amount of experience. All right, Hypnoize puts you to sleep and kills you. This is probably just the end of the. This is probably just the run, end of the run. Yeah, because I'm burning a lot of items, and I need to be able to heal 2 times. And I only have 1 healing item right now. So this is actually super duper bad. Okay, I have to load the state. Yeah. So yeah, that's just an example of another way the run can die. You could have the best execution in the business, but it doesn't matter because the RNG will just catch you and there's nothing you can do about it. Baby getting double focused on both of those fights is pretty catastrophic because then I'm using up all my healing items and I don't have enough to heal up for the rest of the run. Just be luckier? Damn, what a good point. I didn't consider that idea. Damn. Alright, let's see what happens. What do we got? Okay, maybe I can run? And we can, good. Their faces when we ran, so good. Ooh, hey. Please be an Igor. If it's a Nautilus, I should be able to run from it, but let's find out. Yeah, I can run from it. They have AoE attacks, so it's not worth fighting. The only thing we can fight here are the Igors, which also have that chance to sleep, as well as double target the baby. So it's not a super favorable situation, but it is what it is. Okay, see what we got. Nope. That's all AoE and there's nothing I can do about it. No more encounters here, so I'm gonna need to farm them. It's insane. I went 0 for 3 on Igors. For 4? I'm curious about something. Let me test something while I'm here. I'm gonna save the state. And then I wanna see if if I can Viper this thing. No, because yeah, that's just gonna kill. Oh, good work, buddy. Can I Dr. Snooze this dragon? Yes, I can put it to sleep. It is already awake. I'm gonna tell baby to defend. I just want to see if this is like in any way, shape, or form feasible. Baby is dead. So first, I'll tell baby to defend. I will Dr. Snooze. So sleep is kind of RNG. It can last anywhere between like 1 to 3 turns or something like that. Glove. So we put out Pyro again. Okay, it's still asleep this time. It's defending, still asleep. I'm gonna defend this turn as well. And then I'm gonna Dr. Snooze it next turn. Still died and I'm still frozen. I'm so mad. Okay, so fighting these guys is technically possible, but not really. I need good rolls from Pyro. I need a lot of sleep turns, but baby will most likely just die. Dr. Snooze is a pun on Dr. Seuss? Maybe. Dude, really? Nothing? I've never encountered this situation before. Alright, let's see. Alright. Dark Cross. That's what this is supposed to look like. Ta-da! Baby now gets a bunch of experience and I don't have to worry about anything anymore. Because now baby goes up to level 25 with 347 HP, so baby's cooking. And now I hope that I can remember this movement, and we're gonna get an encounter that was completely unavoidable because he was stuck on the slide somehow. Okay, it's a Nautilus, we can run. Being a Dr. Snooze, you're getting tired? Dude, big same. But hey, look, I did the movement correctly. I didn't mess up this room. I think I'm gonna do this Guardian and then call it a night because I don't want to be too worn out. And then tomorrow night, I'll probably just restart. But yeah, welcome to a Guardian fight. Because what you can kind of expect from this point on in the run is get levels on baby and then do the Guardian fights, which are all the same. I'm gonna tell baby to get the fuck out of town. It should listen to me. And then I am at an odd amount of HP, so I actually have to defend this turn. And hope that I get knocked to an odd amount of HP. No. Yes. Because remember, with the Versius and Draken combo, it knocks you down, it rounds down if you're on odd HP. So I'm gonna Tough Wall. Keeps me safe so I cannot take any more damage. Then we're gonna Versius. Draken. This is gonna pull everybody down to 1 hit point. And then I can just kill the Guardian on the next turn, because they have an odd amount of HP, just like I did. Here's Tough Wall, toughen it out for 1 more hit. And I whack him and he dies. But yeah, as you saw, the Draken did like 3,309 damage or 3,308 damage or some shit like that. And now we have our Holy Shield. From this point, we would go to 3 more locations to get 3 more pieces of the Holy Armor. You saw 1706? Okay. I might be thinking of either a different Guardian or a different fight that deals like 3,300 and something. Maybe the Darwin fight. But I go to 3 more places that have these little shrines in them. I kill the Guardians inside the exact same way. At Castle Ryan, I get more levels on Baby to get him to at least 500 hit points. And then from there, I finish the game with some more shenanigans. Tomorrow night stream is going to be the exact same idea as tonight's stream. Just more derusting, just walking through the route. We'll go from there. I mentioned it as an offhand comment earlier in the stream, and I might actually at some point do it, which is like actually record a tutorial of this route. But I don't know if I ever will, because no one's running this. It's me and one other guy, and Obsidian hasn't submitted a run in a hot minute. I don't even know if they're actually working on it. But we'll see what happens. You have a fantastic night, Lancer. I'm also signing off. I'm going to take a look and see if there's anybody to raid over to. And tomorrow night we'll do another walkthrough of the route, just to help derust until I'm ready to go back to doing actual runs. I don't have anybody live right now. All of the people that I have for raiding aren't real. They're not live right now. So we're going to close out. You guys have an incredible night. I love you all. Hope you guys had a fantastic holidays. And I will see you all tomorrow night for more of Guardian's Crusade. Have fun. Bye, everybody.